Welcome to the Digital Exchange. Today we will discuss how drones are quickly becoming the backbone of real-time site intelligence. I'm proudly joined by my daughter Breanna Brown to explore how aerial data is reshaping construction monitoring, site visibility, and improving decision making, and what it takes to fly safely and compliantly in some of the most restricted airspace. Let's get it. I'll tell y'all a funny story. I started this program, and when she came on to work here, we were doing a runway, and she laughed, and she'd drive, and I'd have the drone outside the window. Oh yeah, I know you remember it. And we was driving. I'm like, slow down. She's like, why? We got to get it done. I'm like, hey, it's cold out here. My tips is freezing. So she ain't think nothing about it. The next runway we did, she took over the program. I'm driving. So now I'm driving. Slow down, slow down. I said, oh, hell no. You had my hands go, but she was smarter than me. She actually had some gloves, so hers wasn't as bad. I just want to welcome Breanna. So how are you today?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I've had some special sessions, but this one is like real special. When I needed somebody up here, I remember calling you and I was like, hey, you want a job? You want to come up here? And you was like, I don't know what you do. But nevertheless, you came up here and you started in QA. When you'd see me go fly, you was like, I want to fly. And I don't know if you regret that now. But
Absolutely not. Best decision ever.
yeah. Oh, I remember you saying, I don't want to take this test. I don't know nothing about no math. Okay, she went and passed it. I'm like, really? So
Were you surprised?
I didn't say that. But I was surprised about how you treated me after you got the license. That's the part that tripped me out. I said, look, I'm glad you got your license, but we're in a very controlled airspace. You're going to have to work under me for about a year or two. So how did you feel about that?
I was excited. I get to work with my dad and see what all he does and absorb all of that knowledge. It was very exciting. Of course, it's nerve-wracking because you're like, what? I have to fly by planes? No, that's scary.
When we were doing that first runway, they shut down a whole side of the airport. Remember, and we would coordinate that, and they shut down a whole side. We don't do that anymore because we proved that we can fly safely and not affect operations. So all these people that come and fly, they're flying with a different deal now. Some of them don't even care about the flow of traffic. They think it's cool, man. I can go out here and fly. Well, you know how much I used to get frustrated from hearing no. When you think about operational intelligence, thinking about what drones are today, think about the construction sites that you see, what type of role do you think the drones play into that?
They play a huge role for operational intelligence in a controlled airspace. It's key because you can't just go out there all willy-nilly wanting to just fly. You have to just be more aware of your surroundings. Like that one time we had our drone just start to hover off. Oh, that was scary. But we got control of it, of course, and brought it back.
That was fun. What about that time when you went up and that drone came at my face? Yeah. Vroom! I said, oh, hell no. But those are the type of things that you're talking about. Drones have a means of remembering the flight plans and things like that. So what type of different mapping missions are you required to do?
So for mapping wise, as far as like I support the BIM team to do the as-built overlays, we're able to tie in survey data with the real-time data from the drone. So we're able to do all of that. And then I don't like using map emissions like in the airspace or as far as like in the airfield. I need to know, I need to have control over the drone to be out there.
And that's something that people need to hear. Is because mapping on the air side versus mapping on the land side, those are different.
Granted, we did do a mapped mission on a runway, but we did sections at a time.
What was that runway though at the time? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
That was a NOTAM closed for construction. That wasn't an open runway. And so those are some things that people got to understand. There's a big difference.
Huge difference.
A big, huge difference. But land side, I mean, when we were doing the pavement analysis. The soil stockpile area where we're having to get some LiDAR and work with those different type of deals. I know this gonna make you laugh, but you remember having to fly LiDAR over the homeless camps out there?
Yeah.
Remember those guys put up a sign that said, do
Do
not
not touch.
trespass."
It's like, this is not your property, but I
I'm
get
like, this
it,
not
but
y'all's
yeah.
property. So diving into those different uh, type of missions is something where you got a little bit more privy to how to understand it than a lot of people do. You know, you got somebody who can explain to you the benefit of survey control. I
Right.
mean, you remember this one project we did where we went out and mapped and it dropped right into where it was supposed to drop in the mosaic into CAD.
Correct.
There was no manipulation.
Right.
There was nothing because that's survey control. Well, you remember before at control, remember where it landed, it was like, whoop,
It
off.
was.
Yeah, it was off.
Yeah.
So you get to see
Mhm.
the benefits, and a lot of people aren't privy to that. So that's a good thing. So as you're flying out here and you're more comfortable, what decisions became easier? What kind of made you feel that the way you were flying was a more accurate representation? And then, just how you feel about where you are as a pilot right now?
I feel good about it. Of course, there it's scary to fly in Class B airspace. Any controlled airspace, really, you should be nervous to fly at least outside in the airfield. Landside, it's not too bad, but as far as like being able to be out here and the decisions that we made that are easier have been, how can I take control over the drone if it starts to fly away? How can I make sure there's no other drones by me? Because, of course, the new laws and the new bans, they've taken away the geo fence, so we can't anybody can fly.
Anybody.
Right. But it's best to have knowledge and know where you're at, and the decisions have been made easier because I guess I know more. My knowledge, I've learned so much.
We were flying this one project, you remember? And I'm like, "What are you waiting on?" You like that plane? I'm like, "That plane is like all the way over."
It looks so close out there. I don't care. I also believe my caution has driven the program to be here longer.
It is,
So.
and that the moment you lose that, that's when you have a problem.
Mhm.
That's when you have a problem. So I mean, that's good that you still feel that I need to be careful. I need to have evasive maneuvers. I remember forcing you to start off on a drone that we call Old Faithful now. We call Old Faithful. Yeah, we still have it though.
Mhm.
Remember we started you on that, but
Mhm.
doing that, whatever you fly now, the more expensive drones and the more maneuverable drones with a little bit more agility, you're able to fly those. And now, if I go out with you, you won't even let me touch it.
I'll say, do you remember how to do it?
Won't even let me touch it. So I'm like, whatever. So,
Mhm.
go on with your bad self. And she's a prankster. So you can't have a dad like me who full of pranks and she not prank me too. She tried to scare me one day, and I will one day. I'm gonna get her back.
I didn't try. I did scare you. I did it.
So when you're flying out here, what type of things qualify as kind of critical?
Controlled airspace is anywhere that ATC is in contact with the plane. So Class B is huge.
Huge, especially here.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's critical in controlled airspace. So, I mean, that's what it's classified as. So, you just have to be cautious.
So do you think when you go fly, do you think it's knowing the traffic flows, whether when north flows?
Absolutely.
Those are
North
a lot
flow,
of different.
south flow, whether or not, because that depends on if we can fly in a certain area due to FAA. I mean, our COAs, it's just, they tell you fly in this flow or not in this one. You just have to be aware of your rules and regulations and restrictions that you
But
have.
but how many times does that make you have to change?
All the time, but
Fly
I
for the
mean, it's in the interest of the controlled airspace. I'm not gonna get in anybody's way. No planes. No, we're good.
What about these 400 footers out there? These people
I
that
can't tell you how many times
uh,
a project team has asked me to go up to 400 feet to capture the site. There's no operational need for me to go up that high.
zero.
No.
If you map and whatever,
That
that's
one and then going low. Why do you want me to be as low as a person with their phone in their hand?
that's a whole different issue. But those are the type of things that people don't understand that you have to go through. You have to adjust to these demands on whatever that the people, the client or whoever, what they want. How many times have you been out there and as a woman in construction, somebody walk up to you and just act like you ain't never stepped a foot on site?
No, it's not anybody. It's always men mansplaining what I'm supposed to be doing, like they know my job. It's the worst. But then when you come out there, nobody ever comes out.
Never. So I don't know if you've been telling me the truth or not.
I'll record it next time.
So I mean, you get police.
Yes. I've gotten police, I've gotten superintendents, just random folks out here. Just, what are you doing out here? Are you supposed to be out here? Yes. Absolutely.
like,
Actually, no. Where
and
am I?
and you're in a company truck with the company vets.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's it.
That's the best part.
I know. Yeah, those 400 footers, and then you got
Mansplaining.
You got all that you have to deal with. Not to mention the demands. Some people
Yeah.
want, hey, I want it flew this way, and that's not. It's nothing wrong with that. That's just what they prefer, and it's how they want. But those are the type of things that you have to deal with out here, and so thank God you're have that adaptability in Class B controlled airspace. They think that they can just put in something and man, I can go fly and not think about all the parameters. Don't think about if I'm up in a air traffic control tower and I got as much traffic as we have here, your drone is the last thing I want to deal with. So there's a lot of things, and we're not gonna get it exact, but a lot of things that we had to do to prove that.
Yeah.
So with that said, what do you think people underestimate about this control airspace?
Everything. The power of the planes. I mean, you have to yield to air traffic. So you have to, if you're out there flying in the airfield, you have to be able to know, like, bring that back. Or there's a plane coming, there's going to be a jet blast. Let me move. Let me take the drone up to a safe spot and get out of the way.
Sometimes we have some windy conditions with 30s, 35. People say, oh, then that drone can handle it. I get that. But you got one problem that can happen and it go across there and affect that traffic.
I'm not going to be responsible for shutting down the airport.
You look, now you got us wiggling around because I'm not going to be on your news about all this, hey, that was you guys out there flying. I know partner, that wasn't us, not the Browns. You know what I mean? You get somebody else. With the program that we've established, you think people are a little bit more risky in that they aren't seeing the safety and concerns like you are?
I absolutely believe they're not. I was out there just yesterday on one of the projects and I see another drone just fly right past mine. And I'm like,
Could
let me
care
bring
less
mine down.
about scheduling, could
Right.
care less about talking to you.
Yeah. I land mine because I don't feel comfortable with my drone being in the same spot, rolly location that another one is. I landed mine. I waited a couple minutes until I saw it was gone, but it was flying side, 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 side. And I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
Let me get out of your way because I'm not
See,
risking mine.
They want my world, you know. I want to do what I want to do, not considering what safe skies mean. What type of compliances do you have to deal with out here?
Well, out here for compliance, you have to have, of course, your Part 107. You have to go through, I went through extensive training with you, so I was able to know what's going on and how to maneuver and stuff.
But I mean,
the
like, look at the
compliance.
stakeholders you have to deal with. You got operations, you got DPS, you got air traffic control. You know what I mean? You got all these entities that you have to deal with in order to just take a drone up for 15 minutes. You know what I mean?
And we take it up and come right back down. I
take it
get
back
my
down.
data and I come down. I don't want to cause any
Now, you
hiccups.
know, we got some people who think they ain't got to adhere to the rules, and they don't understand that there are some detections inside. It ain't just DFW. When things
It's
happen,
absolutely
you
not.
got some people who come down who got a little bit more
Try to
torque.
fly over taxi
Yeah,
breakers and
yeah, you
stuff.
got
It's
some people who got a
crazy.
little bit more torque.
Mhm.
They got those three-letter acronyms that I know I stay away from. You know, the FBI, DHS. When you start getting all the acronyms of people that come to you, if you mess up with one drone, just I remember we didn't fly with a taxiway.
No, but they
They
called.
called us because we just had the remote on.
Uh-huh, we were driving over
Yeah,
to get to the other side. I'm
driving
like,
under,
"I
yeah,
would
but
never."
yeah, but that's what I'm saying. What do you see drone operations heading to in the next few years?
Honestly, I feel like the operations will decrease as far as the compliancy with the new laws and
Oh, I
bans.
got you. Yeah.
So, I mean, you can't get a new nice drone, the one that's really
DJI had that market corner.
they
They
did, and
they
it's
really did.
fantastic.
Yeah, they
Those
had some good
drones
stuff.
are amazing, let
That's
me
some good
tell
stuff.
you. And the ones that we have to get now just don't there needs to be some strides in the
Yeah,
US made ones to be
yeah.
able to take the industry further.
I know I'm talking back and forth with our legal staff,
Mhm.
trying to find out what's our position on
Mhm.
that. So there are some things that are still in place that we need to determine that will have an effect on
Mhm.
operations. So guess what? If it does happen, there will be a lessening in operations. What kind of advice do you have for owners? What should project teams be asking you for when drone monitoring? I say that because there's some, I know one of ours on one of our roadway projects who's very into what you're doing for her project management. Then you have some that
Just want it for
just
presentation.
wanted, yeah, just wanted, just so I can get somebody off my back. Let's talk about the one project manager who's very into
Mhm.
what you're doing, who requires a lot. So how do you feel about what she asked you to do as far as drone monitoring for her project?
I mean, it makes the most sense to be able to go out there whenever we have or whenever she
Yeah,
has like a night pour concrete
yeah,
pour, demo, anything like that. She's able to let me know and I'm able to go out there and get it for her, which also she likes it to fly the entire project because she uses it
yeah.
for her pay apps. So I mean, it's real time data. I mean, why wait for that?
She's one of those
Mhm.
project managers that she's actually, been in the business for a while.
Mhm.
You know what? You're not gonna bring no crazy claims to her.
Right.
Yeah, she's
Right.
she's gonna make sure
Mhm.
and quite frankly, I've talked to her and she's like, "Hey, I pulled this up." So I'm not paying you nothing.
Mhm.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then you have some of the other uh project team members who's not as versed
Right.
and they not using it in that same
Right.
capacity, you know what I mean? So that's some of the things that as you're out there, you have to be able to bring those PM staff,
Mhm.
CM staff like that who hadn't been in it that long
Mhm.
and show them the value you're producing to it.
Mhm.
So if it's one thing in this industry, one habit around drone use, you could change or modify, what you think that would be.
The use of the data. So, like we just spoke about, like using it to its full capacity, we want to, I mean, I would want them to use the data. Like if we have LiDAR, I want you
Yeah,
to be able to fit that into one of your survey. You want to be able to tie that together with one of yours. And then also, like I just said, you want to be able to like, why not use it for your pay applications? Because it's real time. So I took this shot right here on this date, and but they say they did it, but you see that they didn't. Why not,
yeah.
use the data?
When you start getting into what you're having to do where I need to do some quantification and I've just flown all these stockpiles with and I got this survey control, all of this stuff. I mean, you have to be pretty tight. It has to come in. Well, I'm not wanting to go and position that. Not to mention, I need to ask you before we, depart from this conversation is you talked about data, but what about the storage of the data? Because you remember we had the 20 megapixel, wasn't that
Mhm,
big a deal.
mhm,
When we got the P1 and got up to 45,
mhm,
no big deal. We're using 100
mhm,
megapixel cameras
mhm.
now. Can you imagine that flight you did about 2 weeks ago with what, 1,700 photos? with that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah,
So
it's a lot.
so those
Using
are
the data.
yeah, I
It
mean,
comes
that's
with it.
it comes with it, and there's, some things you gotta deal with,
Mhm.
but Bree, thank you. Thank you so much for sitting with me today. I couldn't just have a podcast, come doing all these podcasts, get all these dates without, my baby's getting on me now. I'm a proud dad, girl dad. I love my girl. Thank you. Thank you for joining me today. And, how can they connect with you? How can they follow your work?
LinkedIn.
Okay, LinkedIn, yep.
Breanna Brown, CMBIM, Part 107 certified.
Thanks for joining me on the Digital Exchange today. If today's conversation sparked something for you, please share it with a colleague or someone in your network. Next time, we're taking a step outside of the AECO industry, and we'll be joined by some very special guests. Please be sure to subscribe and follow so you don't miss it. Until then, keep building smarter. Oh my, oh my God.
This lighting is so good. See? Here, take one with me.